move. He's got the bounce. He's heading it off his own. Lovely.
He leads the charge. That's something.
Elliott has it over the grandstand. And New Zealand are in the World Cup final.
Stefano, back for another episode. Pretty stoked on this one. One of the bros, Tattie. How you been, brother?
Yeah, no, good, mate. Just back to Mahi.
Yeah, bro.
No footy, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, bro. What have you been up to during the lockdown? Down in Southland?
Yeah, so I've been stuck down south for a little bit. And then once we went to level 3, got a job back with Downer Construction, so it's been pretty good.
Hard on the tools then, brother.
So hard on that concrete radiator.
Yeah, bro. Obviously second week now for me, and I was a bit sore the first week, eh? And then we're doing a fence the other day, and it was like going from just chucking up cedar on a house to doing a fence, and I was like a broken old man.
That was the thing, mate. They were like, "Oh, we'll send up 3 concrete trucks because we're working up in Milford."
Yeah.
And they'll send up 3 concrete trucks, and there's no signal up there. You got to do walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Next, 9 trucks roll up, and we're just there till 5:30, bloody pouring this concrete channel, just raking all day.
Yeah, bro. What is that like? Like, obviously, at the moment, you're contracted to Southland, but when you're not playing for Southland, since you don't have a Super Rugby gig at the moment, you know, bro, you've got to get back and, you know, earn money for you and the missus and that. So is it hard? Because obviously you got to find time to train as well.
Yeah, I like that side of things is like pretty hard, the training and stuff, like finding time. And like I said, you're pretty buggered coming home from work, raking all day and stuff, doing like manual labor, and then trying to have to do and stuff. But I enjoy working, I love it, It's something different. Like the last few years, I've always bloody played rugby, and everything's done here. They tell you what clothes to wear,
Yeah, bro.
what time and stuff like that. Whereas you go to work and you have to schedule your own stuff, make your own lunch. And
Does it definitely make you think about life after rugby, like what you're going to do or what you want to do?
Yeah, 100%. And especially for like when I was first coming through, I didn't really care about that. Like I wanted to do a premiership and stuff, but I was just more worried about playing rugby and stuff and
bro.
enjoy the lifestyle.
Yeah, bro. So for everyone that doesn't know you out there, what's a bit about yourself growing up, where you grew up, and a little bit about your story coming through high school up to the under-20s?
Yeah, so born in Wanganui.
Yeah, bro.
So lived there for a few years and moved to like Ashurst and Palmy North. And then the old lady met a young fella, my old stepdad, and then he shipped us on up to Auckland.
Yeah.
Me and my sister and stuff, and shipped us up there and went to, I did a term at intermediate and then went to Takapuna Grammar High School and loved it, I loved school there, It was pretty wicked. Wasn't really like a rugby school, like we didn't have many good rugby players at the time. Like I know Sean Wainui's come through there as well.
Oh, that's pretty mean.
There's been like it was more musical sort of school, like they had like Lord and all that sort of stuff come through.
Real?
Yeah. So.
What was she at school when you were at school, or you're a bit older?
I've dropped out by then.
Oh. Got sick of school by then.
Yeah. Just turning up, eating my lunch and playing rugby.
Oh, so bro, was your like rugby comp not in like a high? Your school, was that not in a high rugby comp or anything?
No, so we ended up like there was only a couple of good teams like Westlake, Rosmini, and Massey, and then there was one of us, and then we made it to the finals against Massey High School, and then ended up drawing it, but I think it went back on like the win through the year, so we bet them through the season, and instead of going and like we went midweek and went and played Mags, like Stevie Luatua and Fats and stuff like that. And I don't think we didn't even get inside their 22. I think we were outside the 22, and we got a penalty, and instead of kicking it to touch, we just bloody took the 3 points, and then probably ended up losing like 70-3 or something.
Yeah. I don't know if you know him. A Timaru boy went up and played for Mags. Kane Paul Smith. He was the open side Loator when Loator was here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's always pretty cool seeing like someone go from Timaru. Obviously, old what do you call him? Aki Bundy.
Bundy, yeah.
Yeah, I always get shit because I don't say his nicknames right. Like, he's called Ass by some of the boys, and they're like, it's Ass.
He's
But
got
when was the first time you got a bit of taste of like provincial rugby in that?
so like coming through the like grades and stuff, I never really played like made many rep teams. Like I was always like a backup for like Harbour under 18s and 16s and all that sort of stuff. And then played under 20s for Harbour, and then somehow got to go and do an interview for the under 20s and stuff.
Yeah,
And then that was my sort of like thing going through there. Like I didn't come through the academy or anything.
yeah,
But then once I got selected for that 20s camp and trial, North Harbour called me into the academy and stuff.
yeah,
And I had a wee little fallout with them just on like not turning up and stuff because I was working and couldn't turn up to morning trainings.
yeah, bro. Is that kind of like? I'll touch on the 20s in a minute. Is that kind of like because you made your provincial debut for Bad Plenty? Is that
Yeah.
is that kind of why you drifted away to that kind of area?
That's the reason why. And then obviously wanted to come home after 2 years at the Bay,
Yeah.
come home and stuff. So, but yeah, that was 100% the reason why I didn't sign with Harbour.
Yeah, bro. Bro, but I was looking at that 20s team before, eh? How stacked is that? Like, looking at the names Taylor, Puretal, Sopawanga, Bowden Barrett. What was that like being a part of that team?
The list goes on, eh? No, it was crazy. Like, it's pretty surreal to like think about it now. Like, all those guys that you played with All Blacks and stuff now. Like,
Yeah,
there's only a couple that haven't even played Super Rugby or Mitre 10 Cup out of that team, eh? So, and there's probably like half the team that hasn't played All Blacks. Most of them have, but it was pretty wicked, eh? At the time, I feel like at the time you don't really think about it like that.
yeah,
Like,
bro.
it was just wicked to be there on tour and stuff and having a bit of fun. And
Yeah.
mate, I had to room with Ben Tamifuna.
Oh, yeah, bro. Was he a big boy back then?
Yeah, it's always solid. And
Yeah.
bro, he had sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And, go to sleep, and I'm a deep sleeper, and I got used to him sleeping in the same room because
Yeah.
you know how you.
Yeah.
And he must like whip off his mask in the night, and then he'll stop breathing. So then I'll like must get used to the routine of like his breathing, and then he stopped.
Yeah.
And I rolled. Wake up, Tama. I was like, Tama, and then all of a sudden he's just like, and then it just went on for like, I think the boys changed rooms, and then I just stayed with him the whole time because I was just used to it.
Yeah, yeah. What was the banter like? You know, because you're all young boys and that representing New Zealand, getting like fresh gears and that. Was there like? It must be like a weird feeling because you're only so young, so you're pretty naive to a lot of things.
Yeah. No, like we just used to have fun, like enjoy it and stuff, and we kind of got told like we're there for a job and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro.
We still had heaps of fun and all that sort of stuff, and the camaraderie with the boys and shit was unreal. Eh?
Yeah, bro.
You're always going to remember that and remember that team and stuff like that. Like you make some good friends out of there.
Yeah, bro. And you know, friends that life last a long time. Because is that obviously when I met you when we came and had a few drinks with the Landers, and you know you're just chilling with Sops. Is that kind of when your friendship grew from there?
Yeah, like kind of it wasn't like hard until we really came down to the Landers, really. Eh?
Yeah.
To be honest, if he wanted this, I probably used to think he was too cool for me. Eh?
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh, that fuck. But Nah, I've always loved Sops. He's good value, and he's just got a good like attitude off field and shit. He's like
Yeah, bro.
just that side of him, competitive side, and like just loves it, eh?
Yeah, bro. Because I remember that night, and it was like me, you, Sops, Aki, and Rob Thompson. And I remember I was talking to Lima. We were talking about haters, and then we were talking about babies and shit. And it's just like it's pretty cool because it's like obviously me looking from a fan, like I'm just chilling with like some Highlanders boys, which is fucking
Yeah,
awesome. But
yeah,
we're just talking about shit that I talk about with my boys, and
yeah,
that's sometimes what we do forget that use like even though you're rugby players, bro, you like what I like and stuff like that.
yeah, 100%. It's that classic thing though. Like you can't. People think we can't say that sort of stuff. It's too PC and all that.
Yeah,
Like I remember that night, and that was that night that where Sops, some little kid came up and started calling him some different name and didn't use his manners and stuff.
yeah,
And then the mum or something messaged him, and then he was just like going to message a real negative sort of thing, and he changed the way that he messaged that many times because like that kind of thing actually annoyed him. Like the
yeah,
kid
yeah,
didn't have any manners or say please and thank you and all that sort of stuff.
yeah, bro. And that's what like sometimes we demand too much from yous. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got to have an off button as well, bro. Like I like even saying that I've learned, when I went, Otago came up here and lost a bop in the final and when I got in the piss with the boys, is like, bro, they just lost a final and the last thing they want to talk about is rugby. You know what I mean? They just want to get on the beers and have a good time. And I think some people forget that. I've only just learned it in like, in my older years, but it's like the boys don't want to talk about rugby after rugby. They just want to, have a few beers and talk shit.
I suppose you just think about it like sometimes if you're a worker, you don't want to go home and talk about how
Yeah,
many nails you bloody put into the wood today and all that sort of stuff. Like you just
yeah.
got to think of that, but it all depends, I suppose, on the situation. Like if you scored a 50-meter try, but it was actually a try.
Yeah, bro. That was like when I chucked that thing up yesterday and Cam jumped on and he was saying, "Why didn't you pass the Arky?" And I was looking at your highlights this morning, bro, and you were over in South Africa. And can you
Yeah,
remember when you gave that sunny bill to Arky and he was like,
yeah.
"Bro, when
Was,
he scores a try, he looks so unco, eh?"
yeah, he's so gumpy, eh? I don't know if it was his dreads or not.
Yeah, I know. He looks a bit sharper when he's got the fresh fade, eh?
His fade and looks a bit more mongrel.
Yeah, bro. But
Apparently he's taken my approach over in wherever he is, Scotland.
yeah.
Bit of a grub.
Oh fuck, we might as well talk about that now, eh? I reckon if I was a Super Rugby player, bro, obviously we're both white skin, so I think
Yeah,
I reckon I'd definitely be like you, eh? I didn't
yeah,
play much senior rugby. I think 2 caps in Timaru, and one of
yeah,
the times I got to play Arky's brother and being one of his boys in that. I
yeah,
seen him at the bottom of the ruck, and I thought, what else is Spriggs for? Boom,
yeah,
just pounded his back, eh? And he got up and he was like swearing at me. And he's a second five, or he's playing first five, sorry. And he was
yeah,
trying to get me for the rest of the game. And I was like, bro, I got one over you there, eh? Always, that's one thing I love about you, eh? Is, just you love to have a bit of grub, eh? And I
yeah.
definitely like that about rugby. It's like, I hate how, it's shied away in the.
Yeah. Well, like, because I got brought up like playing senior rugby at a young age.
Yep.
Like I remember my first cap for Premier Rugby. I was 16 or something, and
Yeah, bro.
came up against an old hooker, Roger Busto.
Yeah.
Played for North Harbour and stuff, and I remember he just was just like, oh, pretty much you young, beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
shouldn't be playing this young, and then just gave me an uppercut, in the scrum, and that's like kind of where I had to try and get a hard nose kind of thing, but
Yeah, bro.
I just think, you know, like every week it's your free opportunity to go out and try and hurt someone, just niggle someone and wind them up. And like I'm a bit of a joker and stuff like that. People probably think I'm a bit of a tosser on the field and just the way that I am.
Yeah.
But you know, like I try and base my game sort of around Colsey. Like he's the same.
Yeah, bro.
One of my favourite rugby players, like just because he's got the same sort of attitude and
Yeah, bro.
he loves the niggle.
Yeah, bro. He definitely does, eh? So, like, from the under-20s, bro, that's when you went to Bop and that, and
Yeah.
then you came back to North Harbour, and during this whole time, you were playing prop, eh, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, so how that eventuated was like I went to 20s as a hooker, tried as a hooker, yeah, and then Mike Cron came up to me after one of the trials and goes, "Oh, do you want to make this team?" And I was like, "Well, that's a stupid question, isn't it?"
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, "Oh, if you want to make this team, you'll have to play prop."
Yeah.
What are your thoughts around that and learning how to play prop and stuff? And I was just like, well, if it's going to make me make the team and stuff and get to work with the best scrum coach in the world, so
Yeah.
yeah, and that's why I went and then signed, as a prop and stuff and learned how to play prop.
So, was it hard going from prop to hooker?
I like at club and stuff. I like learned how to play because at my club we had James Parsons as well at hooker.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They made me play prop then and stuff, so learn a bit there and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And so the transition back wasn't actually really that hard because you already knew it.
Yeah, it was just more like the mental side of like throwing and stuff, like big games and all that sort of stuff like that. So that was the only trend.
Because were you throwing at prop?
Nah, never. Nah.
True.
Yeah, because so how it all happened was obviously signed with the Bay at prop, then went back to Harbour as a prop, and I would have stayed at Harbour, but then Paul Feeney was one of my coaches at the Bay, and he took over the head coaching role at Auckland, and he goes, called me up one day and goes, we're looking for a hooker because all our hookers are going, like Tom McCartney and stuff, and we've got no hookers. And then how do you feel about coming to Auckland and we'll try and get you in the Blues wider and stuff like that and get you learning off Kevy and stuff. And I was like, thought about it and I was just talked to my agent and stuff like that and saw where the future was at prop or at hooker and the likes.
Yeah.
And yeah, made that decision and went and signed with Auckland. Well, I didn't really tell anyone because I was still signed with North Harbour at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was coming up on my last contract. So if I didn't move to hooker, I probably would still be at Harbour as a prop or something like that. But
So obviously now looking back, it was the best decision you made, like where you've navigated your career so far. So did you look up to the Blues? Was that the team you always wanted to play for growing up as a kid?
I was more Hurricanes and like I always loved like the Landers and stuff, just like that song, like Otago, Highlanders.
Yeah, bro.
I still remember that as a little kid. But Canes were my team, like photos, they used to turn up to Wanganui and stuff and do promos, and that was my team. So used to go to McDonald's and go and see them and jump in that bloody little. There's this photo of me, Christian Cullen, and Tana Umanga in this bloody photo and stuff.
Yeah, bro, they had a stacked team, eh?
Yeah, they were wicked, man.
Like, I don't know how they never won before 2016, bro. Just the team they had. Like, had over the years, sorry?
Yeah.
So obviously you made your cap for the Blues and that, coming from the wider training squad. And then how did your transition go from, like, moving all the way down south? Did Jamie give you a call or your agent say there's opportunity coming up here?
Yeah, so I still remember like I was at the gym doing a workout and stuff, and then my agent was calling me, and then he said Jamie Joseph wants to have a go to you, and so had a yarn and stuff, and then obviously they took me in the wider squad and for the Landers, and
Yep.
mate, it was actually pretty scary, like having to drive down. I knew bugger all people. I knew kind of Fiki Toa and Sops and stuff,
Yep.
and I just sent a couple of messages and then moved down, and then me and Malachi actually moved in together.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
What was it like living with him, bro?
Oh, it's an experience, isn't it? Fuck. We had some bloody good times, eh? Like, it was wicked living with him, eh? He's a bloody good man.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, you're kind of suited for that environment, just like, you know, the brotherhood the Highlanders have, and, you know, just the fun they have. Like, bro, you can't be the night on the piss in Dunedin, eh?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's bloody unreal. Like that, all the boys and stuff down there just come together and just love pissing up, working hard for each other, and that's just what footy's about, isn't it? From club rugby to bloody the top of the ranks.
Yeah, bro. Because, like, obviously they had won it in 2015. So, like, was that quite exciting knowing that you were going down to an environment where, you know, things, you know, we were called like the underdogs. We don't have any stars in that. I don't know why people say that when you got like the best fullback in the world, you got the best halfback in the world, you got one of the best tens in New Zealand. And bro, all you need round there is a few stars, as people that just want to work for each other. So really, we got the last laugh. But what was it like coming into that environment, like knowing they had success?
Oh yeah, it was pretty like nerve-wracking, eh? Like
Yeah,
coming into a team like that and not knowing many boys and stuff, but they obviously, like that year they did a few good signings, like they got Squire and Whitelock and all that. So it was going down there, I was like just pumped to be in that environment, eh? And I remember like pre-season and stuff like that, just like work hard, get smoked during the week, and then go hard Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, and because I was in the KFC club, the Chub Club, so we had to train on Saturday morning. So I was just like turning up there, hungover as, just wouldn't sweat. You know how you don't sweat when you're on the piss? Like,
yeah, bro.
it wasn't until like the last sort of like the spin pass in, and I just bloody just drip. And I swear I just stunk out the whole place of like piss. It was so crack up. But
Yeah, bro.
yeah, and then we just, I remember Jamie Joe pulled me into his office, and then he goes, mate, we think you're a bloody talented rugby player, but what do you want to be in this team? Do you want to be like a good player, or do you want to be like the class clown?
Yeah,
And then I was just like, oh, I just remember saying like, I'm here to just enjoy myself, like just be a sponge, just soak up as much as I can, but also like prove my game and stuff like that to them. But yeah, I had some bloody wicked times there, like with Jamie Joe and stuff like that. Like the boys always crack up at this story. Like we used to do throwing, all that sort of stuff, and Jamie Joe used to stand right behind me, and so I'd be like, put the ball up here, and then I could just like almost feel him like breathing down my neck, and then he would just be like, tell me when to throw. He'd be like, now, and then I'll just be like, but it was so crack up. Like he just used to say, tell me when to throw the ball, and I used to always think I was gonna like hit him in the back of the head or something like that.
yeah. Bro, because was he like a man when he talked, everyone would just listen? Because, you know, he's a big boy, eh?
Yeah, he's a big lad. He's like, I liked him, mate, because he was like straight up and straight to the point, like, and that's what I prefer, like a coach that's gonna tell you how it is rather than beat around the bush and then you hear it from someone else, like the trainer or like one of the assistant coaches or something like that, you know?
Yeah, bro. And like, obviously, I've got a bit of a. At the moment, I personally think that Brownie and Jamie are the best coaching duo in the world. So, like, I got a little bit salty when, you know, he wasn't really going to get a look in for the All Blacks. You know, there's so much he said, she said. Like, he went back to Japan, so it is what it is. But I definitely feel that Brownie and Jamie are the best coaching duo in the world. And like, you just look at their success from the Landers to Japan, and
Yeah.
just like they just seem to work. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they work. And one
Yeah.
of the big things is like obviously you've just saying like how much you would listen to them. It's just when you've got the players' respect, it's just going to work so much better. When it's the opposite, performances will never happen. So that's pretty dope. But what was it like? Brownie, obviously Jamie went to Japan. Brownie
Yeah.
came in, head coach. We didn't go as well, but we still playoffs and that. And then what was it like changing with a whole new, pretty much? Oh, Scott McLeod stayed, didn't he, when Major and that came? Did he or?
He was still there when Brownie was head coach,
And then,
and they got Hammer in at that time, and then
oh yes, true.
17, and then 2018 was when Brownie left and
Major came in.
came in.
Yeah. So obviously, you've played 25 games for the Highlanders and that, but it was a bit of, some weeks you weren't even getting runs. There was a lot of competition with Coldy and Ash, which is good, but
Yeah.
I felt like sometimes, even more in the back years of your time at the Highlanders, you weren't even really getting a chance to prove yourself, which
Yeah.
I got a little bit upset about, and everyone that knows me knows that I write letters to Aaron Major and that, and I even read a whole paragraph about you. Just, I don't know, call me biased because you're one of the bros, but just how, you're not even getting a chance to fight for your position in that. And I know like rugby's a business and blah, 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 coaches see things different, but what was that like for you, just being frustrated and under a new coach, not getting anywhere?
Yeah, it was tough for me, like that sort of thing going on, that transition between coaches, because you've just built up like a relationship with Brownie and Jamie Joe, and they know what you're like as a player, and they obviously respect you and like you as a player.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go and change coaches, and then you have to learn all that again, like try to build up all this sort of stuff. And yeah, I just found it a struggle in that situation, but it was tough, eh?
Yeah, bro. Because like, did you feel like you were putting in the effort? Because obviously Hammett was the forwards coach, and like you weren't really, no matter what you'd done, your voice wasn't just getting heard or something, or
Yeah, like I don't know what it was. I still remember I was just getting that frustrated, and I know that I was like playing good, and I went well in a couple of the games during preseason
yeah,
and stuff like that. And I'd worked hard on my throwing and stuff, and they'd keep saying that was like the big kind of issue kind of thing. And then I go to and I bail them up and say like, look, what do I need to do to be able to play, get some game time and all that? And then they just said to me, we're trying to push Coltman into the All Blacks and Ash Dixon's your vice captain. And that sort of stunned me, to be honest. Like, I was just like, well, so I'm not trying to make the All Blacks and
yeah.
like that.
Isn't every player trying to make the All Blacks?
Yeah. And then, but like that, to be honest, wasn't the point. Like, the point is they just keep like rotating them if they didn't play that well or we had a loss that week, and I was just getting frustrated, and I just really wanted to play rugby and stuff like that, and like nothing against Coltman and Dicko, like good mates and bloody wicked rugby players, but if that was me in that situation, they would just cut me straight away, that they'll just be like, nah, you're gone. Like,
Yeah, bro.
and then that's what like that I didn't really like about those coaches, how Jamie Joe would tell you how it is. He'd tell you why you're not playing and give you a reason, where they'll just beat around the bush and shit.
Yeah, bro. So, yeah, that must have been frustrating as. And did you feel like, were you starting to not enjoy rugby, or were you still enjoying the times? Because obviously everyone knows, like, call me biased again, but the Highlanders have got the best fucking culture there is. It may not be the best winning culture like the Crusaders, but bro, you just know all the boys down there are Hundies, eh? So, like, was it hard? Because you weren't getting the game time, but obviously all these boys are your mates and that, and like your bros, and you still have a mean time.
Yeah, like I was enjoying the off field and shit like that, and I was just dreading going to training and like all that sort of shit. Like, I didn't really care. You know, I was just turning up just to be there to get paid, kind of thing.
Yeah, bro.
And it was shit. Like it just showed, and then obviously it showed when I went to Canterbury and got offered to go to Canterbury, and I just had this change of mindset and just loved my footy, and you could tell like the way I was playing and stuff like that.
Bro,
And that's the reason. And I put that down to being so negative and towards the Landers that year.
yeah. Well, is it like you finally got some game time and got to express yourself? Because, bro, let's not lie. You were on fucking fire, bro. You scored 4 tries. You double in one match, I think.
Yeah.
Bro, and you're playing in Canterbury in a good team. And you're starting hooker, and it's like, wow, I'm actually getting a chance. Because did you know that you probably weren't going back to the Highlanders then, or had you kind of been?
Yes. I don't know what was actually going on there. Like, I remember my agent saying, because during that 2018 year, they were trying to move me back and make me cover as prop and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd always travel with the team as well. And then they would pretty much saying, if I want to go prop and stuff, they could take me as a prop and train me up as a prop. And then all of a sudden, they just went cold on that contract and talks and stuff like that. And then, and then went to Canterbury, and I was pretty much just playing for a contract.
Bro, and then obviously, you injured yourself, got a neck injury, which, bro, that must have been pretty scary, eh? Like, whenever something happens to the neck, you're like, oh shit. Yeah. Even now you look at one of your bros, Michael, who's learning to walk again from a neck injury, and it's like, you just never know, eh, bro? So what was that like, knowing that you played so well, you're playing for a contract, now you're injured and you can't do nothing, bro. You can't say, oh, look what I've done in 4 games, because, they obviously sometimes want to judge over a whole season.
Yeah, and they're not going to take a player that's like had neck injuries and stuff like that. They're kind of scared away from that kind of thing. But I went through quite a lot of like shit with my neck. Like had the surgery and stuff, the surgeon and all that sort of stuff. So what they do is they cut you open through the front there, and then they pull your esophagus to the side.
Yeah.
And put a steel in.
Yeah.
A steel cage. Take out the nerve, because whatever's pushing on your nerve, the disc bulge. Take it out, and then put a steel cage in there. Take a bone graft from your hip, put that in, like mix it into a cement paste, and then put that into your neck.
Yeah.
And then a steel plate over top of that.
Fuck.
I sounded like Darren Lockyer for a couple of months. And then, so the reason, like, we had that surgery and stuff, and I was just gutted. Like, didn't know, I had nothing to go to, like, no job, nothing. Like, didn't know where my rugby career was going to go. Like, and for me, I thought, like, this is it. Like, I could be happy to just retire there, and and then so my Mrs. Kate, she's from Invercargill, and then her family and stuff said, why don't you just come down and live with us while recovering from my surgery, and came down here. And mate, I was just in all sorts. Like, I couldn't even leave the house and go to the supermarket and shit like that. Like, at the time, I didn't think I was in it, but I actually now know that I was like pretty depressed.
Yeah, bro.
And but whereas if I had a contract or something, like, I could go and train and go and still be part of the team environment, but I wasn't. So I was just stuck at home, no job, like didn't know what I was going to do. And it was just a tough road, and then because the return to rugby with the neck surgery was only meant to be 3 months, but because I went through all this sort of stuff, it took longer and longer, and then I just packed on the weight, and I was
Yeah,
just, and then went and signed up and played for Star Rugby Club down here,
yep.
and that was wicked, eh? I loved my time down like there. I had some good roosters like Braden Mitchell and like Manaki.
Bro,
And
he's the man, eh?
it was unreal. I rate him as one of the best locks going
Bro,
around.
don't sweat on him, cuz. Don't sweat on him. Bro, honestly, I reckon he's going to be a force to come, eh? Like, the
He's,
Landers need to hold on to that gem.
oh, and if they don't, he's going to make millions elsewhere. Like, he's got the best skill, and yeah, he's had a little bit of a fuck up in his early on, but like, he's just going to bloody. Oh, I rate him as a good rugby player, eh?
Bro, do you reckon he could play 6?
Yeah, but I think they think he's too small, but he like for the size that he is, he throws his body around, and he's got one of the best offloads going around.
I was watching a highlight clip of his offloads the other day, and bro, he's unreal.
Yeah.
Like, so through that time with your neck and that, and like how you said you had, like, maybe looking back now, you had some signs of depression. Bro,
Yeah.
how important was your missus then? Like you've been with her for a while, so how important was she, bro?
She was crazy, like she was wicked, like just helped me out through it, like amazing. And she was actually at uni when I met her, and she was studying like psychology and all that sort of stuff. So she knew what I was going through, and like she was massive in like getting me back and playing rugby and all that sort of stuff. So like I give her massive credit for all that sort of stuff, and especially like when you go through that, you're a bit of a dickhead, like
Yeah.
you mood swings and stuff like that, and to put up with my mood swings, like couldn't release it on a Saturday, so but it was like she's been unreal, eh?
Yeah, bro. Did you feel like when you were playing at Star that you found the love of the game again?
Yeah, kind of, like I kind of did, but then like still in the back of my head, I was like, is this what I really want to do? Like
Yeah.
some days up and I'll just be like, I don't know why I'm here. Like I don't know if I want to play rugby or not.
Yeah, bro.
And then and then that's when Dave Hewitt and stuff came knocking and asked me if I wanted to sign with the Stags.
Yeah, bro. So what has the experience been like with the Stags? Like, I guess you'd be silly to not know that everyone in the country would know that the Stags are a provincial team that is struggling. They hadn't won for like 22 games in a row, and then you've got a first win next year. So what is that like being in a team? Like, do you go into games thinking, are we gonna win this, or is there like heaps of mental battles?
Like yes and no. Like I can't speak for anyone else, but you kind of went into those games like, are we actually ready for this?
Yep.
Like that week we might have been like doing lineouts or something like that, and dudes were forgetting the calls and like playing like trying to train our maps, and they were forgetting their maps and stuff. And you're meant to be a professional rugby player, like you're meant to know. So yeah, it was kind of like that sort of side of things, but nothing changed the way that we were like from other teams. Like you still had your mates, and the team environment was pretty cool and all that sort of stuff. Like you still got all that, but we just went. Like I can't speak for the years that I weren't there, but last year, like we were there or thereabouts, like against Turbos, Northland, all that sort of stuff. Like we should have, but I think that was like the mental side, you know?
Yeah, bro. Just the scars and that of the recent years and that.
Like we just didn't know how to win games kind of thing. But yeah, it was pretty shit. But when we did win that game, like,
How good
there's
was the piss up?
oh, in the real way, it was bloody wicked, man. So like I've never seen like so much emotion, eh? Like
Yeah,
some of those in that team with their blazers and all that sort of stuff, and played their whole like Mitre 10 Cup career there, like 3 or 4 years, and some of them had never won a game. Like I remember Braden Mitchell, he like gave us a speech, and he was like, "Stand up if you have won a Mitre 10 Cup game," and there was probably like you could count on bloody one hand the amount of people that stood up, eh?
yeah,
And then I remember coming off the sideline, coming off the game, and then me and Morgie Mitchell were sitting next to each other, and when we were playing counties, and he was just getting emotional, and like it was like kind of making me a bit like a little bit of kind of thing, like because I saw one of my good mates getting real
yeah.
emotional for him and stuff like that. So
Yeah, bro. Like at the moment in that we there's no rugby, but we're going into level 2 maybe next week, and there's a 5-man team, 5-man rugby competition they're doing with Super Rugby and that, and they reckon that I think that we can get a full NPC out, whatever you want to call it, Mitre 10 Cup. But are you excited to jump back into the arena, or do you feel like maybe there should be some change around how it's structured? Because I'll be honest, like I can watch the All Blacks win every day of the week. I don't care if Australia lose every game, but I don't really like seeing yous lose all the time. And I love the rivalry between Otago and that. Otago's my team, but I still don't like us peeling you out. And we aren't even one of the stronger teams in the competition when you really think about it. We're in the bottom division, and we're struggling to, when it comes to the big moments, we just fall short in that. But like, how would you like to kind of see it? Would you like to see changes, or
like not changes in the way of like the competition running, but maybe like if they're going to bring all the All Blacks back into Mitre 10 Cup and they're allowed to play, like it's going to be hard for us because we've got no All Blacks. We've got two or three Super Rugby players, and then like Tony Lambourne, Manaki, and Ethan de Groot.
yeah,
And so those are the players that we get back. But whereas like the teams like Canterbury and even Taranaki now are all going to come back and get all like the Barretts and Canterbury. So they're going to push out all those young, talented players. And where are they going to go? They're going to go to club rugby. Like they want to be playing professionally as well.
yeah,
And like, so there should be an opportunity where they can come to another team or something like that. And I know it stink like if we've got players here and they get pushed out, but at the end of the day, you want to be winning rugby games, don't you?
yeah. Like when you say, look, we'll look at the NRL, and well, at the moment, it sucks to say this, but the Warriors are 15th, the Titans are 16th, but both those teams can beat the best teams on their day. The NRL is so competitive like that. When you look at New Zealand rugby with Mitre 10 Cup, then you look at Super Rugby, the Crusaders are not going to lose to the shittest team in the competition unless there's some miracle. And the Southland, you guys are going to struggle to beat Canterbury, Auckland, Taranaki, all the top teams. So, like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, it'd be good to see some more competition there where it is a better competition.
Yeah.
But
100%. Like, even they might even get like you never know, you might get Cody Taylor or something down here and I'll get kicked out and have to work. So after this potty, they might change that and make me go bloody cut up my contract and,
Nah, bro, it's good to say, what you feel. But, bro, who is Greg Pleasants-Tate out of rugby when there's no rugby on? You're not talking about rugby, bro. What are you into?
So for me, like, it's all changed, eh? Like back in the day, it was all about pissing up, and
Yeah.
for me, like, pissing up, buying clothes. Like I was like hardcore into my fashion sort of side of things,
Yeah.
and you know that I've told you that before and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was hard out into that, and then coming down south, it's just changed the whole way I look at things. Like me and Kate, my partner, we go diving, we go hunting,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff, and I just love it. I used to be one of those dudes that would go out for lunch and cafes and all that sort of stuff, and dress up in my best gears and stuff. But now I'm just rock around in my hunting and fishing clothes, and
Oh, they're the
you know,
best clothes.
yeah, hard trackies and all that sort of stuff. So it's like changed, and like outside of like I enjoy working, and then got a good workmate, Braden, who become a real good mate. And first day I turned up on the work site, he was like, make sure you bring some hunting stuff because we're going hunting after work. And then we pretty much finished at 12 o'clock and had beers and stuff, and then went for a hunt.
Yeah.
And I just love it, eh? Just we go pig hunting and stuff, and it's just wicked.
Yeah,
So
bro.
that's a bit of me on the outside. Like I just love a lazy, chilled day, have a few treats, and chill out with Kate. So when we got time to hang out together, we just cruise, go for walks and stuff like. That's me, eh? Like I'm an old head now. Like
Yeah.
change. I feel like I've changed Kate because she's only still young. She's 23, and she was like always says, "Oh, what were you doing when you were 23?" And I was obviously playing footy, pissing up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like changed the way we are, but nah, we enjoy it. We enjoy our lifestyle.
Yeah, bro. And like, just looking back at the rugby, one of the best things about rugby, everyone will agree with this, is the mates that you form from it. And obviously, Arky is, a good mate of yours now. So what was it like spending, time with him on the field and even off it? Because, bro, I bet there must have been so many banter. And even, you know how I was supposed to podcast him, but wasn't allowed for some reason, just with some bullshit rugby rules. But,
Oh, that one.
yeah, I don't know. He wasn't allowed to get interviewed, but all goods. And
He's
you
too
see
big.
me. What's that, bro?
He's big dog now, eh?
Yeah, bro. Earning a bit more coin in that, rolling with the top guys. But
Yeah.
I remember you sending some stories about him, like talking shit with his hands and that, and Brownie or Jamie was like, "Hey, make sure he catches the ball before you talk shit." Bro. What was it like having a mate like that?
Yeah, we became like unreal mates, eh? Like just I remember playing against him and used to think he was a bit of a buffhead, and then he called in when the same year that I got called in because Doogie Edmonds snapped his knee that year.
Yeah,
He obviously got the call in and shit, and we just used to same mindset, just used to love enjoying ourselves, and we just used to always take the piss out of each other, a bit of banter and stuff. But that story about Brownie, I remember there was like a few of us doing this little hands drill, and Aki just kept dropping the ball, and I was just doing like butterfingers and stuff like that. And Fox was on his case as well, and then he was like pretty much about to square up with me, and Brownie's just like cracking up at the same time, but he's like, "Oh, boys, cut it out." And then he's just like, "Fuck you, like I'll get you back, blah blah blah." Bro, we used to have some of those times.
yeah, bro. That's mean. Oh well, bro. We've been chatting for a while now, but I got before you leave me, a little special for you. Bit of a start bench cut. Okay. What's that, bro?
We cut everyone.
Dane Coles.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know where you're going to put him. Sean Fitzpatrick and Kevin Mialamu.
Well, we'll start Colsey, and then we'll have to go with Kevy on the bench, and we'll cut.
Cut Fitzy.
Cut Fitzy.
Unlucky else.
Yeah, hard.
Nah, bro.
You can be like me, mate, and next week
Next week you can have a turn. Nah, bro, it's been good catching up with you. I wish you all the best for the rest of the year. Hopefully, when you get back on the field, and it'll be good to see the Stags get a few wins in that. But nah, thanks, bro.
No, thanks for having me, eh? And Staggy's up this year, boy. We'll be rolling, ready to rock and roll.
See ya, brother.
Yeah,